He saved my life when I was at my lowest, then used that as an excuse to see he at on me. Does he deserve payback? I have been married to my husband for 10 years. Our marriage hasn't been perfect, but I always believed we were in it together until recently. A few years ago, I went through the worst time of my life. I was battling a severe illness, and there was a point where doctors weren't sure I'd make it. He was my rock. He drained his savings, took time off work, and even fought with insurance companies to get me the best care possible. Thanks to him and some medical miracles, I pulled through. I always felt like I owed him my life. I never took his sacrifices for granted. I did everything I could to make sure he knew how much I loved and appreciated him. But last week, I found out he had been cheating on me for over a month with a woman from his gym. When I confronted him, he didn't even try to deny it. Instead, he said something that shattered me. I gave you everything when you were at your lowest. I put my life on hold for you. Don't I deserve to be happy too? I was stunned. He acted like his sacrifices were a down payment on my loyalty, like I should just accept the betrayal as part of some unspoken trade-off. Now here's where it gets complicated. Because of the way our finances are set up, he technically committed financial infidelity too. He had been using our joint account, which was originally meant for my medical expenses, to fund gifts and expensive dinners with her. Legally, I have grounds to press charges for marital fraud. I told him I was considering it, and he lost it. He accused me of being ungrateful and vengeful, saying that without him I wouldn't even be here to have this argument. He thinks I should just divorce him and move on instead of ruining his life over one mistake. Some say he deserves consequences for what he did. Others think I'd be heartless to take legal action against the man who saved me when I was at my lowest. So will I be the asshole? If I went through with pressing charges?
He stole money from OUR Medical Fund to spoil his mistress. Do you agree that he deserves payback? The complexities of human relationships and the moral dilemmas that come with them. As a judge, I must consider the facts and the law, but also the emotional nuances of this situation. First, let's establish that your husband's actions were unacceptable. Cheating is a breach of trust, and using joint funds for personal expenses without your consent is financial infidelity. His statement, implying that his sacrifices were a down payment on your loyalty, is a twisted and manipulative way of justifying his behavior. Now, regarding your question, would you be the asshole if you pressed charges? I would say no. You have every right to seek justice and protect your interests. Marital fraud is a legitimate concern, and you have grounds to pursue it. Your husband's actions have caused you harm, and you should not be expected to forgive and forget without consequences. However, I must also consider the emotional context of this situation. Your husband did save your life, and his sacrifices during your illness were undoubtedly selfless. But that does not give him a free pass to cheat and engage in financial infidelity. His actions are a betrayal of your trust, and you have every right to be hurt and angry. In this case, I would not consider you the asshole if you pressed charges. Instead, I would say that your husband's actions are the primary cause of this situation, and he should be held accountable for his behavior. Pressing charges would be a legitimate way to seek justice and protect your interests. That being said, I would caution you to consider the potential consequences of pressing charges. It may lead to a messy and public divorce, which could be emotionally draining for both parties. You should also consider whether pursuing charges would bring you closure and a sense of justice, or whether it would only lead to further conflict and heartache. Ultimately, the decision to press charges is yours to make. As a judge, I would encourage you to seek counseling and support to navigate this complex situation. Remember that you deserve to be treated with respect, honesty, and integrity in your relationship, and you should not be expected to forgive and forget without consequences.